You got me?
All right, you're a little delayed. That's why, but yeah. Yeah, so, hey, everybody. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. This is like my 4th live, and for some reason, this connection is not working out, right? So, yeah, Bonin Bough. I spent my first 10 years of my life building 2 global digital agencies, one privately held and then one for IPG. One for IPG, and then I also ran their investment group as well. Did a lot of startup investment, did the first investment in Facebook. Then I left there because clients were too stupid to buy good work. So I figured I'd go become a dumb client. And then I became chief digital officer of PepsiCo. I did that for about 5 years. And then I left there and I went over to Mondelez, where I was chief media and e-commerce officer for them. I ran their buying, about $3 billion across the globe, 7th largest buyer in the world. I then also built their e-com business from about 265 to about 265 million in 18 months I ran it. Was living in China, watching messaging grow, and said, I'm going to quit and become rich and invest in messaging technologies. Well, I met a guy named Rich Lou Dennis, who owned Sundial, and we took that business from 200 to 300, sold to Unilever for a little under $1 billion. Nice. And now today, I did a TV show with LeBron, and now today I run a portfolio of investments, and currently I am running one of those investments.
Nice. Can I borrow a couple dollars? This is going to be a delay coming through. Did you catch that? All right, so check this out, Bonin. Looks like we're getting a little bit of delay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just ask you a question and hope you kind of come back on it. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to just post one of these here. Check that right there. Question. Because you're happy.
Yeah, I caught it. Yeah, let me see what I got. Right now, it's like Vegas over here, man.
Yeah, I get you,
I'm
man.
like losing money. Drinks are welcome every single moment of the day, and nobody can keep track of time.
Yes, got you, man. So you want to, maybe you could see if you could tee up this question down below then?
What would I do? What advice would I give to a brand or a product?
But let's tie that back to the whole coronavirus in this like right now.
Right now.
Right. In this environment.
Right now, I think it's, if you're looking to launch a product, service, or podcast, if you mentioned it earlier on this, it's really about the digital channel. Now more than ever, the connection that these channels provide to us and what we're going to be able to do and build from a human connection standpoint, I think we're really underestimated to date. And we're going to see that even more in this environment. And that's really going to be, I think, what's going to separate those that are able to really leave this with a real relationship with their customer. And I think it was said earlier too, empathy is going to be more important than ever. I also think levity, I think value, making sure that we're providing value in whatever we can to our consumer here. And quite frankly, helping people take a break. Like I did a half-hour live and I just told some jokes, and it was just, I think we are, as a society, craving connection and craving the kind of connection that allows us to remember why we love being humans, because we love to be with people and we love to have more than just negative news. We also like to have positive, fun times. And how do we do that again?
Yeah. I agree, man. And it's so important, too. And when we start to talk about breaks, I feel like, can you hear me? You good? All right. So here. I'm gonna try to see if I can post this question real quick to Bonin. You know what? Since there's a subtle delay, if anyone has a question they might want to ask Bonin real quick, if you actually down there bottom right, because he's having some issues with hearing, if we post a quick question, this way I could tee it up to him really quickly. All right, boom. Here's a great one right here. Great one right here. See if you can get that, Bonin. Can you see the question below? So you got a little delay here.
Yeah, man, I don't want your audience to have a bad experience. I'm so sorry. I don't know why this is happening, why we even got, but here, how do you feel about brands turning around TV commercials in record time for Corona? I thought that it was impressive, but I think what's even more impressive is brands turning around entire supply chains to really transform the way that we're helping through this crisis, man. I mean, I was on the phone with some good friends from Pepsi, and they're like, you don't understand. We're on a call with all retailers and the president, and he's like, just don't stop shipping water. So, you know, they have to protect their frontline workers, at the same time encourage them to continue to help bring essential items to American public. So we forget about how complex all these pieces are and what has to happen in order for a global world, and PepsiCo is dealing with this on a global basis, a global world to be able to survive through something like this. And saying thank you to those people and the effort that they're putting in to make these things happen for us it's just tremendous and mind-blowing. And so, you know, I just think that more that we can say thank you, and the more impressive to me is how they've been able to pivot, you know, and everybody out here is facing a new reality. I mean, I'm facing a new reality. Today I had a conversation with a spider. He was really nice, and it turns out he's actually a web designer.
Huh. Interesting. That's what's up, man. Well, look, man, I'm going to ask, is there anything else you want to kind of leave the folks here with, like a last question or last thing you want to kind of say to kind of inspire some people right now that are dealing with this stuff and how we're working with brands and the kind of things we should be executing on right now? We got, it'll come through. Let's see. Looks like we got about a 10-second delay here. We're working it. We're working it. See if he gets it.
Right. Again, I think it's how do you drive more connections with those consumers? How do you use channels that you might not be used to? We're focused a lot on messaging technology. But more importantly, I think everybody smile, have a good time, and take this moment to be with people, be with your family, and enjoy these moments that you have. Cuomo said, I think, something really interesting, which was he rarely gets to hang out with his daughter during work, and now he's with his daughter all day, and it's a special moment. I had the chance to have two 92-year-olds, my dad and my grandmother on my mom's side, on a Zoom call with the rest of my family, just going through photographs of everybody. And that moment that we have, I mean, that's more important than ever. So how do we make sure that we, as humans, stay mentally healthy, stay physically healthy, stay inspired, excited, think creatively through the chaos, and use what we have to make sure that we enrich people's lives?
That's dope, man. Look, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you for coming up. You always come through with some insightful shit to say, so we appreciate you, my man. Here we go. About a 10-second delay.
Peace, everybody. Sorry about the delay.
Nah, it's all good, bro. We appreciate it. Thank you, man. All right, great. That was dope, man. So here's what we're going to do next. We're going to hop over, and I'm going to see if I can find another person. I am sorry. We got these delays, and I'm kind of running back and forth and trying to find people. I would love to get, if Ericka Riggs, if you are out here, Ericka, hit me up real quick. I would love to kind of get you on here. Just shoot me an invite so it'll pop up here. Thank you very much. Let's see if she's on here. Ericka, where are you at, young lady? Ericka. Ericka. No, you're on here someplace. God damn, it is impossible scrolling through all these fucking names. All right, so check this out. I'm having trouble finding Ericka. So this is what I want to do. So other folks here, let's see. Oh, here we go. Oh, Brenner, what's going on? I mean, so what I'm doing is I'm literally like, Ericka, send me an invite real quick, please. Other folks, Chris, CBH, Melvin, Gabrielle, Dana, Lisa, Balsner, and Alicia Ray. Send me invites so I have them, because when you guys send me invites, then I get to see you real quick at the top of my list and add you in. So, Brenner, my man, we go back a little bit as well.
What's up, brother?
You got the fresh cut. I'm digging the baldy. Yes, it's sharp. You got
it's essential, man.
So my man, tell people who you are and what you do, man.
Yeah, man. So I work at LiveRamp, commercial lead there, working with a lot of brands across multiple industries. A lot of pharma, a lot of healthcare. So really interesting time to be working with those brands as they look to kind of connect with patients, healthcare professionals, and continue to reach the people that they need to reach.
Right. So check this out, man. I'm gonna actually start this here, because I think this is interesting. What do you see, right? Because you deal with, at LiveRamp, you guys deal with so many different clients, and then you guys are touching so much data, right? So
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, to kind of build on top of this question, what are some of the biggest changes you've seen, and are you seeing the use of different kind of areas of data perhaps being used? Like, are people now taking this time to say, oh, great, like, let's use location data because we know everyone's in their homes, and if we target those, we'll be able to send them a particular message. Are you seeing a change, like, over the past few weeks or moving forward?
I mean, first of all, let's just all say, like, this is early days, right?
Yeah.
So, brands, agencies, the ecosystem is really still, taking in what this is going to mean short term, mid and long term. Yep. So I think it's probably too early to talk about, like, what are going to be the long term trends and the uses of data. What I will say is that, while there's obviously going to be a major impact for our industry and all industries, trying to leverage data intelligently and really turning towards media that is measurable is growing for everybody. Like, every conversation I have, yes, overall budgets might be taking a hit, but what's ramping up is making sure that every dollar that's spent is it can be measurable, and thinking about how it impacts the consumer, how it touches the consumer. And I'll say this, and this touches your world, Walt, and I know it's something you talk about a lot, about data and creative. What type of messaging are you delivering, leveraging all that data? We spent a lot of time in the last several years really thinking about audiences and slicing and dicing, segmentation, finer and finer. But I think sometimes we've all lost the sight of, at the end of the day, you have to give a meaningful, memorable experience to the individual that you're trying to impact. So, I mean, you actually mentioned this earlier about, like, how AR and VR can really kind of take off. One of our former friends and colleagues, John Frolinger, started up a great AR VR company late last year. And one of the things that he's working with brands, retailers like JCPenney, is saying, look, people literally cannot get to your stores right now. You need to, design messaging and creative that is going to give them that rich in-store experience so that they can shop and have things delivered to their home. And I think that's, a huge thing to consider about how all people are thinking about delivering messaging and how you're going to get to a consumer when they can't get to you.
I love it, man. Yeah, Froley, I think Froley's on right now as well. So when you talk about those AR experiences, that example you brought up is actually pretty cool, because, like, imagine, if you will, like CVS or one of these guys, it's like you open up this AR experience and boom, like, I'm in the middle of shopping aisle. I can walk literally in real time through my house, pick out things, and then boom, it's like throw it in the checkout, right? Or whatever, checkout and make a purchase. That's a dope idea.
Yeah, and even thinking about how we connect to all of each other across this industry. I mean, I just saw actually OMD, Seb Herno, who's over at OMD. He just posted, I think a really, powerful statement that, OMD, we're not practicing social distancing, we're practicing physical distancing.
That's such a valid point.
And it's like, we need our social connections now more than ever. And we all want to feel like we're delivering meaning and value now more than ever across our jobs, across our interpersonal relationships. People are talking about, their family and community and what that means. Another, friend of ours, Walt, Chad Hickey, he, had a great company that he started a year ago called Lucky Forks. And it was all about, designing and executing social impact programming and corporate social responsibility. And a lot of it was event-based. And, so that side of that business obviously was going to be impacted by everything that's happening right now. About 6 months ago, he started building out a platform whereby people could connect virtually in meetings that were going to take place regardless. And you're actually going to be able to donate your time to the charity of your choice for that meeting. So you and I are going to get together, we're going to meet, we're going to talk business. But rather than just have that meeting kind of take place and whatever business outcome happens, we're going to be able to give back to a social cause that we care about. And I think that's, like, such a brilliant idea and so timely. It's a company that everybody should be checking out.
I agree. And I love your point again, and someone else just put it here. Dave Rosner, 001, it's like, it is not social distancing, right? It's physical distancing. It's like, I get it. My wife and I were having a conversation about that other day, and she was trying to explain why. I was like, but it is physical distancing. Dope, man. Look, is there anything else you'd like to add here to kind of say before you hop?
You know, just that, I mean, first of all, Walt, I think what you're doing right now is like, you know, proof that like our industry is resilient. There are great creative people that are here. There's a lot of work that we all can be doing to kind of help our country out. I wish we were getting more from our federal government, but it ain't going to happen, at least until November. Yeah. So we can do a lot to kind of, you know, got to vote, you got to get out there, and you really got to think about what skill sets we have as industry leaders to really make an impact right now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, man. And thank you. I appreciate you and appreciate your time, man.
Absolutely, Matt.
All right, take it easy, bro.
Take it easy, bro.
Yeah. All right, next up we have Ericka Riggs. Ericka, I hope you send me an invite. I'm gonna try to see if I can get you right here. There we go. I see you, Ericka. Yes, we got you finally.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine. How you doing?
Oh, I'm just, you know, I'm living through a pandemic, and Amazon is out of chicken. Right.
Can I tell you? I can't even tell you. It was so weird. So I was literally just talking to my wife about this. Like a week ago, we went to the stores, and there was like mad chicken, no beef or pork, right? And then I went in today, and it was like beef and pork, no chicken.
No chicken. And trying to get it for days now.
And Peapod, is sold out, at least in my area, until like April 10th. So it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Please, anyone watching, send us some chicken. That being said, could you tell everyone here like who you are and what you do?
Sure. So I'm Ericka Riggs. I wish I had a rap, you know, because I feel like I should have a rap.
Could I get you some? I could work on some intro music real quick. I got my laptop here.
That's what I need. But yeah, I'm creating, connecting, highlighting, educating, and celebrating the workforce of the future.
Yep.
And I'm about brilliant, equitable, multifaceted communities. Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, this is a time where we have a moment to actually make something happen.
Yes.
Really make something happen.
Yeah. I agree. I agree, because the big thing about when you enter times like this, right? And I can't say I've been in times like this. I don't think any of us can. But it's like, this is a time where we can actually come together and create shit that flourishes, right? Because through difficult times comes amazing innovation, but we need to do less of this, right? Of kind of like going and kind of siloed off and doing our own things, and do more of coming together. It is like data companies like Brenner and those guys at LiveRamp, and partnering with folks like us and you, and it's coming together so we can create real shit that actually makes an impact in people's lives. Yeah,
everyone has mentioned empathy. Everyone has mentioned community. Everyone has mentioned all of these things, being kind, being mindful. Those are things that come natural when you have trouble, when you have to get together and bring people together. That's when people start being kinder neighbors and understanding that we're in this thing together. But I'm afraid that when it's over, when chicken's back on the menu, we're going to go back to business as usual, which is doing things that to me are not equitable, are fair, basically are producing really tone deaf. Because when we talk about brands, a lot of people have been talking about brands. But brands are people. Right? And
they are.
Who are the people behind these brands that are doing the McDonald's tone deaf marketing? Those are people who.
She said it.
That's why you need. That's why you need everybody at the table. You know.
Yeah, it's important. Do you? So we've all seen some of the mistakes in McDonald's, and some of these folks kind of rushing to do things that kind of go a little south. Do you? And this is going to be a tough question, right? Do you feel that you've seen anyone that's doing it right now? It's a tough question, right? Because I think we're still early on and people are still trying to figure it out and move quickly.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The people who are doing it right, and I can't say exactly who they are. I've been getting a lot of messaging, right? Mm-hmm. And just today I got a message where a woman was so open about really what's going on in her life, right? Mm-hmm. That it was like, shit is messed up in my house. Mm-hmm. My mother got the coronavirus, and this out. I'm not talking about my mom.
No, I know.
The messaging was really transparent.
Right.
It was very open, and she said, "So, I really want to have this conversation. I really want to invite you all to have this conversation. I really want to know what's going on." So I hopped on to check it out. And there was a lot of people who were really in the homes by themselves. See, we always think that everyone, of course, because social media, everyone puts the best angle.
Yeah.
We put a filter on it. But now people are at home by themselves.
Yeah.
Meaning women who are single, who really would like to have a mate, whatever that may be, a man who wants to have a mate.
Yep.
This is a time of the man in the mirror.
Mm.
Okay, so anybody who can create a mess that can hit and get to the heart of the man in the message, the man in the mirror, look at yourself.
Yeah.
Have you been helpful? Have you been a mentor? Are you giving back? Are you giving it your best?
Yeah. AKA John Simmons said vulnerability.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's
true.
It's a moment of vulnerability, and the more vulnerable you can be in not just your message, but in real time, then I think those are the brands, or those are the companies that I feel are doing the best at this moment.
Yeah, that's such a great point too, and I love the story you brought up with the messaging that you got, because I think that when we talk about advertising, when we talk about reaching people now, more so than ever, you need to do it in an authentic way that also elicits an emotion from someone, right? Because if you can, like Maya Angelou said, people will not remember what you said, they won't remember what you've done, but they will remember the way you made them feel. Absolutely. Right? So companies need to kind of take a step back, be real, be authentic, like the gentleman said here earlier, and be vulnerable, right? And show and transparent. Right? And you nail all those, then you create opportunities that are really meaningful and impactful for people. And you create opportunities where people can trust your brand, right? And believe in your brand. And it's important right now.
There you go. Trust.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. It's the trust. We can forgive you if you make a mistake and you come out and say, "Hey, I messed up." We're good for it. But some people don't like to be vulnerable, don't like to be transparent. It shows in their brands, and therefore they get the Bob gun.
Yeah, I agree. So Ericka, is there anything else you'd want to leave folks with here in terms of any truths you want to drop or anything?
I have enough time, and I'm really enjoying. Thank you so much, Walter, for including me. I think this is a very esteemed group of people that you're talking with, and they're bringing a lot of different perspectives. I would just offer that we keep the multifaceted perspective as top priority as we move forward. I think we need to get out of our comfort zone, and I think that virtual communications allow us to do that. We need to bring all of our brothers and sisters together and present a more equitable workforce. That's what I'm all about. That's what I'm going for.
I couldn't agree more. You've done so much for me, especially as of recently, and I wish I could do more for you, but I truly appreciate your taking the time to kind of talk to us tonight and drop some bombs on us, and you've been incredible, so thank you.
Well, you're a rock star, so anytime you call, I'm here.
Oh, you're the best. Thank you. Talk soon.
All right.
Be safe.
All
right. Next up, we're gonna actually jump over to, and we're getting through folks fast here now. For Lisa Balsner. I hope I said your last name right. I hope I didn't botch that. So please accept that invite. Looks like she's connecting. Yes.
Hello.
Lisa, how are you?
Good. How are you?
We made it happen.
We did.
There's a lot of back and forth today.
I know. What kept free? So I'm glad to be here, and thank you.
Indeed. So I think let's start off like everyone. Like, tell us like who you are, what you do.
Sure. So I'm a creative director, copywriter for a long time. I'm also a certified diversity executive. And so I do still creative direct and write, but I also have a company dedicated to changing agencies from a business perspective about diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Nice.
So I really take, what I've learned from all my years in agencies and as a creative in particular, because it's kind of like the final here, and talk about how to bake that into the culture and into the work. And everything Ericka said, yes, 100%. And I know you and I have talked in the past about, kind of lots of different angles. We talked about all these brands that are doing good and maybe not so good.
Yep.
But also, what I think we need to really be talking about is agency culture and how do you ensure, inclusion online. It's hard enough when we're in person and you can see things, see people, but then you have an online meeting and, how, is there a microaggression that looked, or does the quiet person get to have a voice on the Zoom meeting? And kind of what do we do? And I know that some agencies are working on that really well. And I had a colleague tell me today that her boss called, I'm sure everybody, but called her and said, what are your challenges right now? I know you're a parent, what's homeschooling your kid and that kind of stuff. So I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And also, I think several people have touched on this, but working remotely is we do a lot of that, especially as creatives, in our industry. But now, like, the world is doing this. And I think, it's proving that this is very possible. And I think that this is going to permanently change the landscape of business in general. And so I think it's so important. I think on the good side, it can really, really open up access to a lot of people, right? So you can go beyond your local talent pool. You can, hire people who may have a prohibitive commute because they can still get your work done. I mean, all these things, and you don't know how old the person, what race they are, what gender, anything. It's like behind that screen, the work is the work. And I think that there's a nice opportunity to kind of equalize some things there. The other thing is what I think we as an industry need to be doing, and I will share some examples of
please.
Some great companies doing it is to make everything accessible. And so, as we've discussed, lots of companies are doing this, but within our industry, one thing is Adobe is offering 2 months free. I think it's to everybody, not just to students. Nancy Bonk and Janet Keston of Swim are offering their Leadership Academy online Zoom, of free conversations to learn how to lead in this new world. The 3% Academy is offering full access to their online stuff.
I saw that today.
And also, so instead of having to have, beg your boss to send you and have a budget, or send yourself if you're a student or a freelancer, everybody can take those learnings. And I really hope people will take advantage of this because it's so important. Mount Freelance, they are offering, I think it's the first month or the first session free, because
so I hope everyone's taking notes here, because you're dropping a lot of really good stuff. So please, folks, take some notes. And then after this as well, Lisa, I'm sorry to cut you off, but please actually repost in this chat some of those names. I think it's good for people to see some of those and actually use some of that.
Absolutely. I'll put the full list. So Mount Freelance is offering at least their first session or something free. And again, you think about people who have never freelanced before, and we're pretty much all kind of forced into that right now. Freelancers, no one's working really, unfortunately. I think it's going to pick up and get better, but typically, as we've seen in our industry, when people get laid off, then they call freelancers, right? So if you're a seasoned freelancer, great. If you're not, that kind of stuff really helps. The Creative Circus, We Are Next, and the Fellow app are all doing online portfolio reviews. So if you're a seasoned creative, go on there, talk to people online, review their work. You can scout out some great talent, help everybody, just help our industry out. I feel like, we're suffering so much, and to have all of these great resources of people who are really stepping up, we're going to be stronger for it at the end. And my real hope is that, on the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion side, it's really going to make a difference. And I hate that it took a freaking pandemic to shake shit up in the world. But the fact that it did, at least if we can get some good out of it, that's an upside, I guess.
You put it perfectly, right? And I think that that's incredible stuff and information you gave there. And I'm so happy that you joined and had this side of the conversation, because it's this for sure is a piece that not a lot of people are actually talking about right now. And it's so important as we move forward. So I guess I want to give you one more opportunity. So is there anything else you want to say in terms of like in terms of what you just talked about, how this now changes as we move forward, and what are some of the positive outcomes you think are going to be a result of this months from now?
Well, you know, my hope is, like I said, that people will realize that remote work is really viable, and that will then open up even more to, you know, a diverse workforce. And I think, you know, equity is obviously always a challenge, and inclusion. And I think that if we're aware of that, you know, hopefully instead of leaving people further behind, it's kind of an equalizer.
Yeah.
So that's really what I hope.
Amazing. You have been amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And be safe out there. Stay inside. Everyone stay inside.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
Take care. Bye. All right, so we're moving through the list now. The next person up, we have Kenni here, who's a good friend and a Rose. Let's see here. Give me 1 second as I get him in here. Kenni. There you go. Boom. See if we can get him in here. Whoa, shoot. Sorry about that. Just showing my piano there.
Yo,
what's good, man?
Yeah.
Is this 2 times in less than 7 days?
Yeah, because my happy hour is tomorrow night. So, you know,
nice.
We're going to get it popping again. Thank you again for being on. No, I'm not going to play the piano. These are Woody's glasses, by the way. If anyone's still tuned in, these are glasses by Woody.
Did you get those for free, or did you pay for them?
Of course I got them for free. I mean,
Woody, hook me up, man.
I'm like Woody's poster boy.
The one thing I can say, Kenni, is you always got a nice set of glasses, and my man, for anyone who's seen photos of him, there's high profile photos. My man is always rocking the wooden bow tie.
It's the
thing.
Bow ties, big great bow ties, and Woody glasses. This pair actually is called the Ambitious Outsider. That's the name of this style. There we got it. Yeah, Ambitious Outsiders. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So can you tell folks like what you do, man, and even the roses thing, I think is a cool thing to bring up too.
Yeah. So you know, I'm Kenni. Great to meet everybody that's on tonight. To put it short, I build experiences that are catalysts for change and social understanding. So that's what I do. So basically, I'm like a hyped up D&I guy. That's the best way to put it. If anyone's ever read anything about me, I'm just kind of like doing my thing on steroids. I'm a lot of action, not as much talk, but I'm definitely a lot of action. And one of my actions is, as you mentioned, the organization I created for men of color in advertising, marketing, media, and PR called 100 Roses from Concrete, in which, you know, we grow, collaborate, and connect, collaborate, and grow. My bad. So that's what we do. You know, we started the end of September, and now we're up to 93 members across 6 states.
And I am one.
And Europe. We got a brother in Belgium.
Yes.
We got a brother in Belgium.
And I am proud to be a Rose, man, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
So Kenni, man, tell us like, what are your thoughts on the space right now, man? And from your perspective, like how are things shifting and how are things changing, man? It's like, what do you expect to see from brands, and what do they need to do more of?
Man, I hope these brands finally get it together. That's my hope. It's unfortunate. As another guest, I think maybe Lisa mentioned it earlier, or one of the comments, but it's insane that a catastrophe. Sorry.
Yes.
This type of situation for people to start doing good. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
for something
Yeah.
this bad and this many people in the world have to die for them to be like, you know what? Let me start being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So it's really sad that it has to be that way, but I mean, hopefully it turns some things around. It won't turn everything around. So I don't want
Yeah.
people to think like this is the antidote for people being sloppy,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
This is not the antidote to people being sloppy.
Yeah.
This is just right now.
Yeah.
So people will show and prove in time how this is going to even affect humans positively or negatively.
Right.
So it's just a matter of seeing it through and seeing what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that, man. That's a valid point too. So do you, and this is a question I asked Ericka earlier, and I know this is a tough question, but like, have you seen any brands that you think like, yeah, these guys are actually getting it right now? They're having the right message. They're setting the right tone.
I mean, like I see them doing it, but like I said before, like how long will this last?
Yeah.
Because how much is it going to cost them to do these things, right? Yeah. So like, there's a lot of brands that are giving away free shit. So like Zara's making free masks, things of that nature.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So how long is this going to last that they can just totally give away free stuff?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're coming from, so it's funny because when you say that, like, how long will it last? I think two things, right? So I think financially, right? Like with these companies, how long are like someone like that, or isn't it like Louis Vuitton? It's also like turned one of their perfumes into like pure, like hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
How long can they continue going down that path? But then also when you say that, it makes me think of brands' short-term memory, right? So like in 3 or 4 or 5 months, when everything's back to normal, is it like we forgot about what we did, we're going to go move forward and kind of keep doing the same shit? Or do we continue on this kind of doing good for the people who for so fucking long have been buying our products?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you 100% because it's a matter of seeing like how long will this good Samaritan-ness last?
Yeah.
You know, until the last case is solved, or until the next bad shit happens.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So our company's going to start making like purses for catastrophes.
Right.
So like, because this ain't going to be the last one, right? So are they going to create these purses for catastrophes? So they'll put away $3 million for the next one, and then when it happens, they throw out that $3 million and they look like superstars.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know, we gotta wait and see.
Yeah, yeah. Is there any last thing you want to leave folks with, man? Last thoughts?
Just shout out to all the roses that tuned in. You know, we got our roses happy hour tomorrow. I may do it on Kenni Thacker, the Kenni Thacker Instagram. But other than this, like just like everyone else said, thank you for having this. I mean, there's been a lot of dope people on. I see a lot of dope people on right now. Shout out to Kai, I see you. Shout out to Gary and everybody. I see Nikki Mo. Just everybody, you know, that tuned into this tonight. And when they tuned in earlier, if they're tuning in now, Gary, I know is coming up next. So just, you know, I'll spark the match. He can blow it out. That's how we do it.
Yes. Everyone hang tight. We got a good small handful of folks to come through. And I want to make sure we get them all. So thank you, man. I appreciate your time.
No doubt. And shout out to the Cali Roses and the Down South Roses as well. I have to give them a shout out.
There it is.
I'm out.
Take it easy, brother. Be safe out there, man.
See you later.
Peace. All right, that was a good conversation. All right, we're gonna line up the next one, get him right in here real quick. Let's see here. This guy's out. All right, Noah, we have to get a young lady in here. Let's see. Dana, let's see if you're still online right now. She sent an invite, and hopefully she's still on here. And did Derek skip out of here? Derek, are you still here, man? I know. So Derek's big thing is he is all about Twitter, and my man is never on Instagram. And I know he was upset about me putting his shit out there and having to now get on Instagram. So let's see. There he is. Let's see if we can get him on here. Wait. Derek. Let's see. Dana. Let's see. I'm gonna try to grab Dana real quick. Yes, Kai. Derek has a real incognito account and tries to front like he doesn't have one. Dana, I'm trying to grab you right now, Dana. She's unable to join right now. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab Melvin. I'm grabbing the last few people here, and then we got Lewis. We got you coming up next too, man. Mel, what's good, man? All right, so I'm gonna just tee you up real quick, just because I can. Okay.
All right.
And I just love doing this. Mel's a good friend, man, and this brother's one of the, like, I'm not even shitting you when I say one of the smartest brothers that I know in this advertising space, and someone that I get so much kind of insight from. This is like a dude that's done it all, ran innovation at IPG Media Labs, who know how to do his thing. My man's got like 4 companies right now, like VC shit, like all kinds of stuff, and I'm happy to have you on this conversation tonight, bro. How you making out?
Doing all right, man. You know, I'm holding it down. This is a calm time for me because I don't have the twins running around. So.
Yes. This is why I did it late night. People are like, why are you doing it so late? I was like, look, man, no work, no kids. Everyone's asleep.
That's what's up.
You know, at least till mine comes like banging through the door in the middle of the night. So Mel, man, so here I'm gonna tee up one of these questions here because I know you're good like that. I'm gonna this question from the Millie Bill. In your opinion, who's winning from a retail perspective right now?
Oh, that's easy. Amazon.
Really?
Grocery store.
Okay. You want to give us some insight why you think?
Amazon, because everybody's already on subscription. If you live anywhere outside the city and you have a child, let alone multiple, stuff is already coming to your house. You just turned it up times 20. And then everything you're doing is going to a grocery store that usually doesn't have foot traffic. So those 2 places right now are winning. I would probably say you got to watch the people who are losing, like movie theaters. Because if Sony figures out they can release a film without paying AMC, that's not really that great for the movie theater. And they're doing it right now.
So here's my thing with that's annoying, right? So Sunday, I think it was, with that movie Onward, I think. There's like a big thing, Onward's coming out, and they release Onward, and we're trying to give back, and it's going to be streaming free on Disney, and this is the day it drops. And the day it dropped, you actually had to go to Apple TV and pay like $19.99 for it, but it's not actually streaming for like another 4 weeks. So I felt like I kind of had the wool pulled over my eyes real quick. I was like, nah, I'm not buying this damn thing. I'm not paying no $19 for this thing. But then you have stuff like Frozen 2, right? And I think it's, like you said, it's a great opportunity for brands to rethink, and like everyone's home, for these entertainment brands to say, let's pull this out of the theaters, let's drop it in people's homes, right? I mean, granted, I know they want to make money, but even folks that are going on Netflix are coming out and winning Academy Awards, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, for the big movies, you're still going to see them. Like if it's a sci-fi movie or if it's something you want to see on the big screen, that's great. But if it's something that's just a rom-com, you don't need to see that in a movie theater. Like, it's really going to be interesting to see if that becomes a way for them to better monetize the back of the library that is only going to open with like 20 million a weekend. They don't need to put it in a theater. They just put it on demand.
So let me ask you, man, because you are an innovation like king, right, and guru. I'm going to ask you a different question. So how do you think right now brands can innovate with technology to do like shit that matters?
I think now is the time for them to retrofit and fix the tech that they don't have now. So like for the folks who have back libraries of content and don't have a streaming partner, now's the time to find one. If you're wondering how to digitize some of your print assets and you want to mail them to somebody to see if they'll engage, you might as well do it because they're not leaving their house anytime soon. Yeah. You know, at least you have a chance of having somebody to do something with it. And then I also think for the folks who are playing around with connected TV and different things like that, and they want to do something a little more adventurous, now's the time to do it because you have a captive audience and you can actually test things a lot better than you would normally be able to do when you're trying to figure out whether you're hitting somebody on their mobile phone or if they're at their house on their smart TV.
So here's the thing that I want to ask too then, right? Because I think every brand wants to be first to market with something, right? And be the innovative one that kind of went out and did this thing. But then when truth becomes, when it really boils down to it, they get that hesitation. No, something new, I don't know, what if it breaks? So in reality, every brand wants to be first to be second, right? So in a time like now, how do you go out and tell these brands like, no, this is what you should be doing. You should be executing this way. You should be going out and being the first ones to market like this. Like, how do you tell brands that, and how do you kind of persuade them? I'd say.
Keep it simple and keep it humble. I mean, most of the stuff you need to go to market, somebody already built. So as long as you don't try to build it yourself, you could probably get it to market now in a couple of months and actually have something pretty good. I look back to the two biggest growing categories, I'll just say in the tech space, quote unquote, from a media standpoint, are email newsletters. Like, people look at stuff like The Skim. They built an entire business off a subscription newsletter, and then they started charging people for it, and people paid for it. So their entire business is built around 2 newsletters, and they have an audience of about 7 million. I think folks are paying roughly between $5 to $7 a pop for an email that they already get.
Yeah.
And these girls are killing it using email.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be hard. It just has to be purposeful.
It's not reinventing the wheel. Innovation isn't always reinventing the wheel. It's how do you make subtle changes to something and push it out there and target a specific niche, right?
Well, I mean, use the tech to target people. I mean, the good thing about our job is it's not that hard. We're aiming at people. People haven't changed that much in, 10,000 years. Like, we still like the same 4 or 5 things. It's just figuring out how you can be relevant in where people are and then the context they're in, and then you can kind of do what you want as long as you're relevant and you have some sort of purpose. I think brands right now are struggling because a lot of them don't have a purpose. They're just kind of there to make money. And luckily they're making money, but now that they actually have to have a reason for being, some of them are struggling. Yeah,
100% agree with you, man. 100% agree. Well, dude, man, thank you for your time, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
Stay online, stay safe, man.
Definitely. You too.
And I can't wait to this thing clears out so we can go grab another beer, man.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
All right.
I'm with you on that one, bro.
Take it easy, man.
All right.
All right. So next up we got Gary to come through, and then after Gary we got Gab, who's an awesome friend as well. Gary, let's see if I can get you right here, man. Gary, where you at, man? Let's see, Gary. There we go. Boom. Gary, answer that, man. And your phone better be good, man, with the battery life. I know a lot of people are like, yo, my battery life is going down. You gotta get you that 11, man. My battery is still kicking. I got like 50% left. So Gary, as soon as you accept that, man, we should be good to go. And again, for folks that are here, bottom right, down next to the comments, little comment section, you can actually ask a question. There's a little box with a question mark on it. Go down there, open that up, type a question, and we'll ask them to the folks in real time. So thank you. My man, what's good?
Okay. Now we're in wild card time. Now let's get in. Let's get crazy with it, because my filter, well, I never really had one, but my filter is just not there.
For the folks who are watching, this is a brother where every time there's an event and I go to an event, I have to rethink whether I should wear my hat or not, because I'm like, I know, like, is Gary gonna show up with his hat? And it's gonna be 2 brothers up in here with the same hat. Like, So it's good to see you, man. I didn't wear mine, but you got to fit it on tonight, so that's cool.
It's just just the uptown thing, but yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, can you tell people real quick, like, what you do and how you do it, man?
Sure. So, what I do is brand marketing strategy. I build frameworks. I build approaches, programs, and campaigns. I'm the blueprint maker. I'm the recipe maker. That's what I do for brands. I help them evolve. I help them come into existence, and I try to do so in a way that makes the most sense in a long-term fashion, which is something that I think everyone has forgotten about.
Right. So so let me ask you a question here that just came through here. Here's an interesting one, man, and I don't know that you'll be able to. I mean, let me know if you could tackle this, right? All the working from home works for creatives. I think for creatives instead of from. Have we seen any backlash from PMs and the brand managers? So do we? I guess so. So I think the point here is project managers, brand managers. A lot of these folks are kind of managing the day-to-day over projects and so on and so forth. And the question here is I guess, for those folks, like, do we see some of these folks having any backlash because they're not actually in the office, whereas opposed to, like, we happen to see designers and developers and those folks really always working from home? Right? It's never been a new thing for those folks. Can you? And if you can't talk about that, we could just move on to the next. It's cool.
Well, so my perspective on that is there's probably getting some backlash because these positions are a little bit older, and there is this thought process that you have to be able to see someone to make sure that they're working.
Yep.
Which is just totally false, right?
Yeah.
So when you start thinking of things from that level, then you can start thinking about the old school systems, the old school structures that we've been working on, and how they've been so wrong for so long.
Yeah.
How they're just we've done so much to fall behind. We're supposed to be in this creative industry. We're supposed to be the innovative ones. We're supposed to be the creative ones. We're supposed to be the ones who bring the new stuff. And we, as an industry, have done a terrible job at it. And a lot of it starts from the inside. Like I said, this is wildcard time, right? Because
yeah.
Like we have allowed the big six to come in and start taking AOR work from us. Like we tend to, and this is not to point out to any one individual, obviously, but if we look at our industry and the way it's being viewed especially by people inside, that it's dying or that we're losing, we have to look at the responsibilities of what we've done to lose this stuff.
Yeah. Like,
what have we done to make sure that we're making our clients understand what it is that we need to do?
Okay.
Instead of just kind of just saying, okay, we're going to do what you want, when at the end of the day, what they want is results.
Yeah.
So even if they come with something, if we know it's not going to garner results, we have to tell them, no, here's why, here's how we can make something work. That is our job. That is ultimately what they want from us, even though they might not be saying that at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. And so let me ask you, what do they need to be doing more of? Right? Like this point forward, like how can they better themselves, right?
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to kind of just take some of what was already said, right? We have to go back to basics. We have to think about the values and the purposes that we've been talking about, we're putting forward, right? Yeah. I've heard the word authenticity a lot today, a lot yesterday, a lot over times. I'm going to say this. Who's to say that these companies that are just looking for making money aren't authentic? Maybe that is in their DNA. We just want to make money. They are being absolutely authentic. Mm-hmm. Authentic doesn't mean that you're nice, that you're good. It means that you are being real. And some of these companies are being absolutely real. Now, they may not last very long if they don't switch, they don't evolve. Yeah. But that doesn't mean they're not being real.
Yeah.
Right? So if we're going to go ahead and be real, we got to hold each other accountable. We have to look inside and see if we are a brand, if we're selling a product or a service, we are automatically in the service industry. We are there to do things for our customers, right? So if they're giving us money, we are providing a service to them. That is our job. So what purposes, what values are linked so intrinsically to what we are selling? Then it's easier to pivot onto what you can do in a time like this.
Yeah.
That is easier to figure out what you can do to make things better, how you can help your community, because your community is there for you. They are there to back you up. They are there to do the things for you and keep you alive.
Yes.
So if 100%. You are doing the things for them right at the beginning,
yes, you
are going to be able to get through times like this a whole lot better, because they are going to hold you down.
Yes.
The whole brand loyalty thing, loyalty starts at the brand, not for the brand.
Powerful.
And more brands need to understand that right at the beginning. That's how they need to be built. That's how they need to evolve. That's how they need to continue to be able to sustain.
Amazing.
And find new ways to do things like that. That's great, but you got to make sure that you're able to serve in the ways that you are supposed to, that they're expected to. And then even if you can surprise them in a good way with your service, that's just gravy.
Yeah. Facts. All facts. Facts. Check. My man, we thank you so much for your time tonight, brother. And we need to continue this conversation.
Pleasure, man.
Because I feel like you got a lot to say.
Oh boy, do I! And also, just a quick, before we leave, there's a quick shout out to the group called Strategist. It's spelled Strategist without any vowels, so STRTGST. They have an open brief that is based on it's an open creative brief that's based on getting people to stay the fuck inside.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some really good ideas, some good foundational ideas to start off and build creative off of to get people to flatten the curve. And it's available to everybody.
No shit.
So that's just a good place to start. So just people who need ideas, and also just to get people to kind of have their brain going in some sense of normality again.
Right.
Because things will never be the same, but we still have to understand how to get to the money in a way that is respectable and responsible.
100%. Dope. If you could do me a favor when you drop off, you could put that comment in here so people could get it. That'd be amazing, man.
Okay, cool.
I appreciate your time, my man. Let's continue our conversation.
That's great.
Be safe, man.
You too, man.
Take it easy, man. All right, so check this out, everyone. So what we're going to do right now real quick is, this is amazing, and I'm having a good time. We have about like 4 or 5 or so more people that need to say something. We still have a strong captive audience here, so I'm really fucking excited about that. We are literally going into hour 3 right now, right? So again, you can only be on Instagram Live for 60 minutes before it boots you out. I'm going to probably get booted out in like 3 or 4 more minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign off right now, and I'm going to hop right back into this live. Please, everyone, all of you jump back in because we have some really dope people coming up. Next conversation I'd like to have is with Gabby. So please hang tight. Come back, all right?